How are you all? Hope you're all doing well and hope you enjoyed the previous video and hope you'll enjoy this one. Today we're going to talk about which language. That's the title of our video. So there are many languages, for example, these that I have the logos on this slide. The one that you see as a bird is called Swift, and the one that has a cup of coffee is Java, and then the snakes are Python, and JS is JavaScript. JS, it has an addition over here, which is the crown. It's not really there. That's just an addition. Okay, so we have even more languages, PHP and C++. So I can keep adding more and more languages. There are many. I can't count them all. But these are the most popular, I guess. And today we're going to explore their purposes and what do they do? For what are they used? So web development. Which languages work and which are the best? Web development, HTML. We have for web development we have three languages. The first of them is HTML. HTML is not a programming language; it is a markup language, which means that it builds the structure of the web page. And when we say it's not a programming language, because it's not one. And programming languages we have logic. We can say if, we can say some other stuff that we're going to explore. In HTML, you can't have these. It's just a markup language. It builds the structure of the web page. CSS. CSS cascading style sheets. CSS. CSS is not a programming language either. In HTML, if you want the whole thing, it's hypertext markup language. So let's continue. CSS is not a programming language either. CSS is the makeup of the web. It designs the web, the HTML. So when you write CSS, we write CSS to design the HTML, and it's not a programming language either, as I just said. JavaScript. JavaScript is indeed a programming language, and it builds the user interface. It makes the website dynamic and interactive. And if you recall from the previous video, JavaScript is a high level programming language, and it's commonly used. Now let's check some websites on let's check some websites. A website that I previously built on to give you an idea about HTML and CSS. So if I open my Chrome over here, first let's look at this website structure provided by Programmer Plus on Instagram. It's a pretty cool page. I'd advise to follow. Okay, so what is the website structure? A simple analogy. As you can see, we start with the HTML, which is the skeleton, and then we have the CSS, which is the meat, and then and the cloth, if you can see as well. JavaScript is the muscle and the circulatory system. PHP, Java, or Python, or any other language that can be used for web development is the organs and such. Okay. So now let's check a simple HTML page and how does it look after adding some CSS. So I previously built this page and it's an HTML page. As you can see over here, I have these my first web page, some links, and then about me. I'm Alireza Amarai, a programming beginner, and this is my first web page. And then over here, after I added CSS, look at it, it's the same page. This is my first web page, it's written. This is my first web page. And over here, if you look, there is about me, and this is actually in the other page. After I press about me, it takes me to the other page where I've written about me, I'm Adamare, etc. So as you can see, after adding CSS, it has all of this stuff. The images, the colors, that's simply CSS, and we're going to explore the code for all that. Hopefully, if you want to know our plan or my plan for this channel, right now I am explaining in like the very basics. We said what is programming, and right now we are explaining which languages for what. In this channel, we are going to start with HTML and CSS and with Python, and then we are going to combine the three. So we are going to have at least 2 videos in a week, starting this week, one for Python and one for HTML and CSS. And then we're going to combine the three as I just said. So let's go back to our slides. And as I said, we'll explain these three right now and give an example. Hopefully, they are understood a bit better. If they are not, in our upcoming tutorial, hopefully they will be. So, mobile apps. For mobile apps, we use the language called Swift, which is the eagle from the very first, which is this. I guess it's an eagle. It's not probably. It's just a bird, probably. Sorry. Uh, the very first logo on our slide. So that's Swift, and we have Objective C, which looks like C, like its logo, it's just Objective. Both Swift and Objective C are programming languages. Both of them are used to build iOS apps. If you plan to build iOS applications, Swift and Objective C are your languages. React Native. React Native is a JavaScript library that allows JS developers to build cross-platform native apps. What does all that mean? So over here I mentioned a library. What is a library? A library is um, a library is built to help developers. For example, if you're a JavaScript developer, a JS developer, uh, I, as an intermediate JavaScript developer, I can build a library. What does this library do? If I want to help you build, if I want to help you build applications on your applications for phones, I can create something as Facebook did, and Facebook created React. So Facebook created React to help JS developers build applications. So the word React, there are two libraries, React Native Library and React Library. They are both built by Facebook, and they are both JavaScript libraries. The React library is a library used to build web applications. The React Native library is used to build applications. Why is that? Because native means that it's an application on your phone, not a web application. Anyway, so let's continue. We said, what is a library? A library is built on top of a language to help developers of that language to build something specific. Some libraries to help you build web applications like React. Some help you build applications for your phone like React Native. That's simply what a library is. And what does cross-platform mean? Cross-platform means so it's for both the Android and iOS. So when you build an application with React Native, you don't have to write the code twice. Just write it once, and it can be used for iOS and Android. If you write your code in Swift or in Objective C, it can be used for iOS but can't be used for Android. So let's keep going. Java and Kotlin. Java and Kotlin are both programming languages as well. They are both used to build Android apps. So if you want to build an Android application, you can use Java or Kotlin. So here comes a question. What should I learn? I'm going to build mobile apps. Should I learn Swift and Objective-C, Java and Kotlin, or React Native, or any other cross-platform library? It's not a question that needs a lot of thinking. It depends. You have to ask you have to ask yourself another question in order to answer this question. You have to ask yourself, am I targeting iOS users? So if yes, then you should use Swift and Objective C. Am I targeting only Android users? Then I should use Java and Kotlin. Am I targeting both iOS and Android users? Then you should use React Native, and hopefully the reason is clear. So let's check some apps built by all of these. Some app built by Objective-C and Swift, and some apps built by React Native and Java and Kotlin. So directly, let's check this right now. Java. Java has many applications built with it. For example, K9 Mail. This is an advanced solution for those who use email 24/7. So Java, some new Java developer built an application which is K9 Mail, and it's an advanced solution for those who use email 24/7. And many others. Let's skip three now, and you have Telegram for Android. So Telegram for Android is built by Java. For those who do not know what Telegram is, it is a famous instant messenger, just like just like what do they call it? WhatsApp, just like WhatsApp, but it can hold larger video sizes and can send them in higher quality, which is because it holds larger sizes. So on WhatsApp, you can send more than 100 megabytes. Over there, I'm not sure the limits, but you can send even more than 1 giga or 2 gigabytes. Yeah, we have many other applications built with Java. For example, Sea Weather. Well, this is a utility for Android, which allows accessing the weather conditions anywhere in the world for a few seconds. So that's Java. I have many languages, many applications built with it. Let's check my Chrome over here and apps built with React Native. So I just wrote that on Chrome. I wrote apps built with React Native, and here we can see what I found. Here we bring in a list of some popular apps built using React Native: Facebook, Bloomberg, Airbnb, Gyroscope, Mintra, Uber Eats, Discord, Instagram. So what's interesting here is Facebook, Discord, and Instagram. So if you use Discord on your phone, it's built React Native. If you use Instagram, which most of us do, it is built using using React Native. And if you use Facebook, it's built using React Native. So here I have a question just to make you sure. Is Instagram built React Native? Yes, Instagram is built on React Native. And then Facebook built React Native. Originally, Facebook only developed React Native to support iOS. So when Facebook created React Native, it was only for iOS, just like Swift and Objective-C. But with time, it's with its recent support of the Android operating system. So right now, it started to do that for provide mobile UIs for both platforms. It's a cross-platform application. That's what we have for React Native. Let's go to Swift. So amazing open source Swift apps. This is the logo, as I told you. So here are some applications built with Swift as well. Let's check them out. Okay, number one, official Firefox. If you know what Firefox is, it's a browser just like Chrome. I use Chrome. Firefox is available as well, and which is the one over here, this with a fox on it, and it's a Firefox. Yeah, so it's pretty self-explanatory. So if you use Firefox on your iOS device without using Safari, then it's built with Swift. If you use WordPress for iOS, it's also written with Swift. And if you use, there is something called Artsy, which is an auction app for arts, and as well written for Swift. And I guess the name is called Courtesy of Artsy. Whatever. Designer new apps. So there are some designer new apps built in Swift as well, courtesy of Magento, or Magento. No, Magento. Okay. So the Flappy, which is an interesting point to me, that Flappy, the game Flappy, was built in Swift as well. If you have played it or heard about it, yeah, then it's built with Swift. Many other applications, you can have Wire and iPad app and many others. Turn on your VPN like a hero, many others. I can keep going, but I don't plan to. So let's continue. We discussed Java, Swift, Objective-C, Java, and Kotlin. Did we? Let's go on. So you have games. What are some languages for games? C++, Java, and C Sharp. Yeah, Java again. So C++. C++ is quite difficult to learn, but the reward is great because it allows more direct control over the hardware and graphical processes, something very important in video game design, sorry. So if you plan to have more control, direct control over the hardware and the graphical processes, and you plan to risk that the language you're going to learn is quite difficult, then C++ would be your choice. Java. Java runs on everything, from printers and microwaves to complex video game systems, which I find very interesting. And Python is pretty much the same, if not even stronger. That's why we're going to learn Python on this channel, and it's the closest to English, which is easiest to learn, and it's incredibly strong. Okay, so it is a very dynamic language. I'm talking about Java right now, with lots of applications, which makes it a good choice to learn. Java is related to C++, so learning the two alongside each other would not be difficult. Let's come to the last, which is C sharp. Of course, there are many more languages you can build games with. So C sharp can be used to create almost everything, but is particularly strong at building Windows desktop applications and games. So if you plan to build some Windows applications and games for Windows for laptops and such, which are Windows based, you can use C sharp. So games made with Java. Some of them are Tom Clancy's Politica, Runescape, Powder Games, Star Wars Galaxy, Zero Forge, and some games made with CSS, C++. I'm sorry, very sorry. CSS does not build games. Games made with C++, Counter Strike, and where I come from, Counter Strike is very popular. Okay, so there are many more. For example, Doom, Third Engine, King Quest, StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Warcraft 3, Football Pro, Master of Orion 3, Maple Story, Invictus. So that I forgot to mention that in Java, Minecraft is built with Java, and I can Google that for you, or I will not. Google that if you like. Minecraft is built with Java. So games made with C Sharp are Super Horde VR, Rick and Morty VR, and Seeking Down. Okay, so let me show you one thing that on this channel, I'm going to mention this on thing that on this channel, I'm not going to teach any language to build games. Like that's none of my plans. If you want to know more about my plans, as I said, right now we're going to discuss Python and the web programming. We're going to cover Python and web programming and such. We're going to explore them and learn more about them, and that will be it for a couple of months now, maybe one, maybe two. And after that, we might go into React Native, and but after that, nothing's planned. I don't know. Maybe we might stay in web programming for 6 months, then go into React Native. We might stay in for 2 months, then React Native. But as for games, it's not too much of my concern. No, I don't think I'm going to explain it. Anyways, let's check another Chrome page. So another Chrome page I want to show you is this. Since I'm not going to teach, since I'm not going to teach games, so here's an amazing course you can take: CS50's Introduction to Game Development. So this teaches you about 2D and 3D interactive games in this hands-on course, as you explore the designs of games such as Super Mario Bros., Pokemon, Angry Birds, and more. And the course is completely free. You can take it's free until December 31st, I guess. Okay, so what you learn the principles of 2D and 3D graphics, animation, sound, collision detection, Unity, and Love 2D. And so the languages they use C sharp and Lua. Lua is a language I didn't mention, but C sharp I did. So basics of game design and development. That's it. If you want to get the certificate, you can pay $150 and do the projects, and you will get your certificate. So the topic's programming, as you might imagine. Yeah, so to get the course, just type onlinelearning.harvard.edu and you'll get this website where you choose this course if you are planning to build some game. Okay, because I'm not going to teach that over here. So let's keep going. Our last topic for this video is Arduino robots. So Arduino is an open source electronics platform based on easy to use hardware and software. Arduino boards are able to read inputs, light on a sensor, a finger on a button, or a Twitter message, and turn it into an output, activating a motor, turning on a LED, publishing something online. So to explain it, I'll just explain what's written over there. So it's an open source electronics platform based on easy to use hardware and software. So it's built in a way that's easy to use for everyone. My age, older man, smaller man can use Arduino to build some stuff. So Arduino boards are able to read inputs. So Arduino can read inputs and it can light a sensor. For example, if you can connect a sensor to the Arduino board and light it on by communicating to the Arduino board, which will communicate to the sensor with the sensor. Sorry. So you can touch a button using the Arduino board, you can read a Twitter message and you can turn it into an output. So you can use that light to activate a motor. You can use that sensor to turn on a LED. You can publish something online after reading that Twitter message. So Arduino is pretty open source and is available for everybody. And right now I'm going to show you the website. And in Arduino, by the way, you can write the languages C, Arduino C and C++, and you can write with Python. And that's it. So let's check the video I want to show you on YouTube on Chrome. This is me over here. This is my Instagram page. And I'm going to show you a video where I built something using Arduino. So let's discuss what actually happened. I wish I pressed a moment ago. Anyways, that over here, as you saw, I called the component, it's a sensor. So when I put my hand in front of it, it sent a message to the Arduino board that I did this, that it saw something. And then the Arduino board sent, when it read something, the Arduino board got input from it and sent output to the component over here, should I call it? So it's another sensor that the Arduino board sent a message to it. It's not a sensor, by the way. It didn't send a message, it sent electricity, and when it did, it took the string down, which took the pressure down, and then I got the sanitizer on my hands. So there's one thing I didn't mention in JavaScript. As I just said, we said that it is a programming language that builds the user interface and makes the website dynamic and interactive. So, what does it mean to have a dynamic and interactive website? The simplest idea is that look at the mouse right now. It looks as the usual mouse. Once I came to the play button, look at it how it became a hand. That's the simplest example. Another example is if I open Netflix.com. Netflix. So if I open Netflix.com, this is a dynamic web application. Right now, if I open, as you can see, I'm not subscribed. But if I am subscribed, it will show me the movies, right? It will give me some recommendations, and it will give me what I have been watching and such. If you were subscribed and open the website right now, what you'll see is different than what I will see. We will see different movies. We'll get different recommendations, and these stuff are and this is because the website is dynamic. And this because the website is dynamic. So a static website looks something like this website that I built. This is a static website. Like it doesn't change. As we discussed, this changes depending on who is checking the website, but this does not. So for example, if you write this right now, you will get nothing because this is locally, so it's just on my laptop. Users on the internet cannot access this page. But right now, if I go to the about, the services, to the contact, if I give you access to this web page, you will still have the same application, and wherever you open it, if I didn't add something, of course. But it's not dynamic. I don't have JavaScript in this application. Um, it's just HTML and CSS. Once, if I added comments, for example, for you to comment and suggest your opinion about this page, then that would have been a dynamic page, because taking data and processing it, saving it, that's something that makes the web dynamic. I hope you got an idea about everything and what you can write with them. This was me, N&B programmer. I am Merhi. My Facebook, the email address, my Instagram are all here. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it was all good. And thank you for watching. Uh, Thank you.